Have you ever felt a strange pull towards something greater than yourself? A feeling that you're meant for something more, something special? Well, you might be right. Today, we're diving into a topic that's both exciting and a little mysterious. The signs that show you might be chosen by God. Now, I know what you're thinking. Chosen by God? That sounds pretty intense. And you're right, it is. But don't worry, we're going to break it down in a way that's easy to understand and relate to. Imagine for a moment that you're walking through life, minding your own business, when suddenly you start noticing little things. Maybe it's a series of coincidences that seem too perfect to be just chance. Or perhaps you feel a deep, unexplainable urge to help others in a way you never have before. These could be more than just random occurrences or fleeting emotions. They might be signs that you've been chosen for something greater. Now, let's be clear. Being chosen doesn't mean you're better than anyone else. It's not about being superior or special in a way that sets you apart from others. Instead, think of it as being called to a specific purpose or role in life. It's like being picked for a team, not because you're the best player, but because you have exactly what the team needs at that moment. In this video, we're going to explore 3 key signs that might indicate you're chosen by God. These signs aren't about dramatic visions or hearing voices from the sky. They're subtle, everyday things that you might have overlooked. By the end of this video, you'll have a better understanding of what it means to be chosen and how to recognize these signs in your own life. Let me share something personal with you. A few years ago, I was going through a tough time. I felt lost, unsure of my purpose in life. I had a good job, great friends, but something was missing. I couldn't shake the feeling that I was meant for something more, but I had no idea what that more could be. One day, I was walking in the park, feeling pretty down about my life's direction. Suddenly, a little girl ran up to me, handed me a dandelion, and said, "You look like you need a wish." Then she ran off to her mom. Now, this might not seem like a big deal, but at that moment, it felt like the universe was sending me a message. That simple act of kindness from a stranger sparked something in me. I started noticing more and more moments like this, small, seemingly random acts that felt like they were guiding me towards something. It was as if life was trying to show me a path I hadn't seen before. These experiences led me on a journey of self-discovery and spiritual growth. I began to understand that being chosen isn't about being perfect or special. It's about being open to the possibility that you have a unique role to play in the world. That's why I decided to make this video. I wanted to share what I've learned about recognizing these divine nudges in our lives. Because here's the thing. If I've experienced this, chances are many of you have too. You might have felt that same pull, that same sense of being meant for something more, but maybe you didn't know how to interpret it. So, let's explore this together. Let's unpack what it really means to be chosen by God and how you can recognize it in your own life. Because understanding this could be the key to unlocking your true purpose and living a life that feels deeply fulfilling and meaningful. Now, let's tackle the big question. What does it actually mean to be chosen by God? It's a phrase that might sound intimidating or even a bit confusing, but don't worry, we're going to break it down in a way that makes sense for everyday life. First off, being chosen by God doesn't mean you're suddenly perfect or that your life is going to be all sunshine and rainbows. It's not a golden ticket to an easy life. Instead, think of it as being given a special task or mission. It's like when a teacher picks you to help with a class project. You're not better than the other students, but you've been entrusted with a specific responsibility. Being chosen often means you're being called to serve in some way. This could be big or small. Maybe you're meant to be a leader in your community, or perhaps you're called to be an exceptionally kind and supportive friend. The key is that you're being nudged towards using your unique gifts and experiences to make a positive impact in the world. It's important to understand that being chosen isn't about religious perfection. You don't need to be a saint or spend all day in prayer to be chosen. God often chooses ordinary people, flaws and all, to do extraordinary things. Think about some of the great spiritual leaders in history. Many of them started as regular folks who just felt a strong calling to do more. Another crucial point. Being chosen doesn't mean you're more loved or valued by God than others. In many spiritual traditions, it's believed that God loves everyone equally. Being chosen is more about being assigned a particular role or purpose, not about being the favorite. So, what might it look like in your life if you're chosen? Well, you might start feeling a strong pull towards certain actions or paths. You could find yourself caring deeply about issues you never paid much attention to before. Or you might discover talents and strengths you didn't know you had, often in areas that help or inspire others. Being chosen often comes with a sense of responsibility. You might feel a deep urge to use your skills or resources to benefit others. This doesn't mean you have to give up everything and become a missionary, unless that's your calling, of course. It could be as simple as feeling compelled to volunteer, mentor someone, or stand up for causes you believe in. It's also common for chosen individuals to experience a heightened sense of empathy and compassion. You might find yourself more attuned to the emotions and needs of others, feeling their joys and sorrows more deeply than before. This increased sensitivity can be both a blessing and a challenge, as it opens your heart to the world around you in new ways. Another aspect of being chosen is the experience of divine guidance. This doesn't mean you'll hear a booming voice from the sky telling you what to do. Instead, it often comes in the form of intuition, coincidences that seem too perfect to be random, or a persistent feeling of being led in a certain direction. You might notice doors opening for you in unexpected ways or find that the right people and opportunities show up just when you need them. Being chosen can also bring challenges. You might face obstacles or trials that test your faith and commitment. These challenges aren't punishments. Rather, they're opportunities for growth and for strengthening your resolve. Many people who feel chosen describe going through difficult periods that ultimately led to profound personal and spiritual growth. It's crucial to remember that being chosen isn't about achieving fame or recognition. Many chosen individuals work quietly behind the scenes, making a difference in ways that might never make headlines but are deeply impactful in their own spheres of influence. The focus is on fulfilling your purpose, not on gaining acclaim. Lastly, being chosen is often accompanied by a sense of peace and fulfillment when you're on the right path. Even when facing difficulties, there's an underlying feeling that you're doing what you're meant to do. This doesn't mean constant happiness, but rather a deep-seated contentment and sense of rightness about your life's direction. Understanding what it means to be chosen is just the first step. As we move forward in this video, we'll explore the specific signs that might indicate you're on this path. Remember, these signs can be subtle, and they're different for everyone. The key is to stay open, pay attention to your experiences, and be willing to step into the role you're being called to fulfill. Being chosen by God is not about being set apart as superior, but about being called to a life of purpose, service, and deeper connection with the divine and those around you. It's a journey of discovery, growth, and making a positive impact in ways uniquely suited to who you are. As we delve into the signs in the next sections, keep in mind that this calling is not about perfection, but about being willing to embrace your unique path and purpose in life. Certainly, I'll continue with the next 3 sections of the outline, maintaining the same engaging and in-depth style. Let's dive into the first sign that you might be chosen by God, an unmistakable sense of purpose. Now, what do I mean by this? It's not just about having goals or dreams. This is something deeper, more profound. It's a feeling that there's something specific you're meant to do in this world, even if you can't quite put your finger on what it is yet. Imagine waking up one day and feeling like you've been given a pair of glasses that help you see the world more clearly. Suddenly, things that never made sense before start clicking into place. You might find yourself looking at your life experiences, both good and bad, and realizing they've been preparing you for something bigger. This sense of purpose often comes with a strong feeling of conviction. It's like a little voice inside you saying, "This is what you're meant to do." Maybe you've always felt drawn to helping others, and now you realize that's not just a random trait, it's a calling. Or perhaps you've had a talent that you've never taken seriously, and suddenly you understand that this skill could be used to make a real difference in the world. One way this sign might show up is through a newfound passion for a cause or an issue. Maybe you've never cared much about the environment before, but suddenly you find yourself deeply concerned about climate change. Or you might develop a strong urge to advocate for a group of people you've never really thought about before. This sudden, intense interest isn't random. It could be a sign that you're being called to make a difference in that area. Another way this sense of purpose might manifest is through a feeling of discontentment with the status quo. You might start feeling like your current job or lifestyle isn't fulfilling, not because there's anything wrong with it, but because you're being pulled towards something else. It's like you've outgrown your old life and are being called to step into a new role. This sense of purpose doesn't always come as a clear, detailed plan. Often, it's more of a general direction or a feeling. You might not know exactly what you're supposed to do, but you know you're meant to do something meaningful. It's like being given a compass without a map. You know which way to go, even if you can't see the destination yet. It's important to note that this sense of purpose isn't always comfortable. In fact, it can be downright scary sometimes. You might feel called to do something that seems too big, too challenging, or too out of character for you. That's okay. Being chosen often means being pushed out of your comfort zone. Remember, this sense of purpose isn't about becoming famous or successful in the world's eyes. It's about fulfilling your unique role in the grand scheme of things. Your purpose might be to be an exceptional parent, to create art that touches people's hearts, or to be a force for kindness in your community. No purpose is too small if it's what you're truly called to do. If you've been feeling this unmistakable sense of purpose, pay attention to it. Reflect on what it might be telling you about your path in life. And remember, you don't need to have it all figured out right away. Being chosen is often about the journey of discovery, not just the destination. The second sign that you might be chosen by God is a pattern of unexpected doors opening in your life. Now, I'm not talking about literal doors here, although who knows, maybe that could happen too. I'm talking about opportunities, connections, and paths forward that seem to appear almost magically, often when you need them most. Think about times in your life when things have fallen into place in ways you couldn't have planned. Maybe you were worried about how to pay for something important, and suddenly an unexpected source of money appeared. Or perhaps you were feeling lost in your career, and out of the blue, someone offered you a job that aligns perfectly with your newfound sense of purpose. These open doors often come in the form of coincidences that seem too perfect to be random. You might find yourself sitting next to someone on a bus who turns out to be exactly the person you needed to meet to move forward with a project. Or you could stumble upon a book or a video that answers a question you've been struggling with for months. It's important to understand that these open doors aren't always big, dramatic events. Sometimes they're small things that make a big difference. It could be overhearing a conversation that gives you an idea, or meeting someone who introduces you to someone else who changes your life. The key is that these events feel meaningful and timely, like pieces of a puzzle falling into place. Another way this sign might manifest is through obstacles unexpectedly clearing from your path. You might have been facing a seemingly insurmountable problem, only to have it resolve itself in ways you never could have anticipated. It's like the universe is conspiring to help you move forward. Now, here's an important point. These open doors don't mean you won't face any challenges. Being chosen isn't about having an easy life. In fact, you might face bigger challenges than ever before. The difference is that you'll also find you have the resources, strength, and support to face these challenges when you need them most. It's also crucial to understand that these open doors often require action on your part. They're invitations, not guarantees. You still need to walk through the door, so to speak. This might mean taking a leap of faith, trying something new, or stepping out of your comfort zone. Sometimes, recognizing these open doors requires a shift in perspective. What might seem like a setback at first could actually be an opportunity in disguise. That job you didn't get might lead you to a much better opportunity. The relationship that ended might free you up for a more fulfilling one. If you've been noticing a pattern of doors opening in your life, pay attention. Keep a journal of these experiences. Look for the threads connecting them. What direction do they seem to be leading you? What are they telling you about your path? Remember, being chosen doesn't mean you'll never make a wrong turn or face a closed door. It's about having faith that the right doors will open when you need them most, and having the courage to walk through them when they do. The third sign that you might be chosen by God is a noticeable increase in your capacity for empathy and compassion. This isn't just about being nice or feeling sorry for people. It's a profound shift in how you relate to others and the world around you. Imagine suddenly being able to tune into other people's emotions like never before. You might find yourself deeply moved by stories of people's struggles, even if they're strangers. Or you could start noticing the pain or joy in people's eyes in a way you never did before. It's like your heart has grown bigger, making more room for others' experiences and feelings. This increased empathy often comes with a strong desire to help others. You might feel compelled to reach out to someone who's hurting, even if you've never been particularly outgoing before. Or you could find yourself standing up for someone being treated unfairly, surprising yourself with your own courage. One way this sign might manifest is through a newfound ability to see beyond people's actions to their motivations. Instead of getting angry at someone for being rude, you might find yourself wondering what pain or struggle led them to act that way. This doesn't mean you excuse bad behavior, but you develop a deeper understanding of human nature and the complexities of people's lives. Another aspect of this increased empathy is a growing sense of interconnectedness with all living things. You might start feeling a stronger connection to nature, feeling pain at the destruction of forests or the suffering of animals. Or you could develop a heightened awareness of global issues, feeling personally affected by events happening on the other side of the world. This deepened empathy can also extend to yourself. You might find yourself becoming more compassionate towards your own struggles and shortcomings. Instead of harsh self-criticism, you develop a gentler, more understanding attitude towards yourself. This self-compassion can be a powerful tool in your spiritual growth and in your ability to help others. It's important to note that this increased empathy isn't always comfortable. In fact, it can be quite overwhelming at times. You might find yourself feeling others' pain so deeply that it's hard to bear. Learning to balance this newfound sensitivity with self-care and boundaries is an important part of the journey. This heightened empathy often comes with a sense of responsibility. As you become more aware of the suffering in the world, you might feel a strong urge to do something about it. This doesn't mean you have to solve all the world's problems. It could be as simple as being a more compassionate presence in your daily life, or finding ways to contribute to causes you care about. One interesting aspect of this sign is that it often extends beyond just humans. You might find yourself feeling more connected to animals, plants, or even the planet as a whole. This can lead to changes in your lifestyle, like adopting a more environmentally friendly way of living or becoming an advocate for animal welfare. If you've been experiencing this increase in empathy and compassion, pay attention to how it's changing your interactions and your view of the world. Notice the ways it's guiding your actions and decisions. This deepened connection to others and to the world around you can be a powerful indicator that you're being called to a higher purpose. Remember, this increased empathy isn't about being perfect or never getting upset. It's about developing a broader, more compassionate perspective on life and feeling called to act on that compassion in whatever way feels right for you. As we've explored these three signs, a sense of purpose, unexpected open doors, and increased empathy, remember that they often work together. Your growing empathy might lead you to your purpose. Your sense of purpose might help you recognize the doors opening for you. And walking through those open doors might further deepen your empathy and understanding of the world. Certainly, I'll continue with the remaining sections of the outline and add a conclusion, maintaining the same engaging and in-depth style. So, you've been nodding along as we've discussed these signs. Maybe you've recognized one, two, or even all three of them in your life. Now what? Let's talk about what to do if you think you might be experiencing these signs of being chosen by God. First and foremost, take a deep breath. It's okay to feel a mix of emotions, excitement, fear, confusion, or even doubt. These are all normal reactions to realizing you might have a special purpose or calling. Remember, being chosen doesn't mean you have to have it all figured out right away. Start by taking some time for quiet reflection. This could be through prayer, meditation, journaling, or simply sitting in nature. The goal is to create space in your life to listen to that inner voice, that sense of guidance that's trying to speak to you. Ask yourself, what do these signs mean for my life? What changes might I need to make? Next, pay attention to your natural inclinations and talents. Often, The way we're meant to serve aligns with our innate abilities and the things that bring us joy. If you've always been good at organizing, maybe your calling involves bringing order to chaos in some way. If you have a gift for words, perhaps you're meant to inspire or educate through writing or speaking. It's also important to seek wisdom from others. This doesn't mean you need to tell everyone you think you're chosen by God, but consider talking to people you trust, mentors, spiritual leaders, or wise friends. They might be able to offer perspective or insights you haven't considered. Don't be afraid to start small. Being chosen doesn't always mean making huge, dramatic changes overnight. It could start with small acts of kindness, volunteering for a cause you care about, or simply being more present and compassionate in your daily interactions. These small steps can often lead to bigger opportunities and clearer direction. Be open to learning and growth. Being chosen often means being challenged to expand your understanding and abilities. This might involve reading books on spiritual topics, attending workshops or retreats, or learning new skills that align with your sense of purpose. Remember to be patient with yourself. Understanding and fully stepping into your purpose is a journey, not a destination. It's okay if you don't have all the answers right away. In fact, part of the journey is often about learning to trust the process and having faith that clarity will come in time. Lastly, don't forget to take care of yourself. Being chosen can sometimes feel like a heavy responsibility. Make sure you're balancing your sense of purpose with self-care and joy. Remember, you can't pour from an empty cup. Taking care of your physical, emotional, and spiritual health is crucial to fulfilling your purpose effectively. Now, let's talk about something that's probably on many of your minds: doubts. It's completely normal to have doubts when you start recognizing these signs in your life. You might be thinking, am I really chosen? Or am I just imagining things? Or maybe, who am I to think I'm special enough to be chosen? First, let me assure you, having doubts doesn't mean you're not chosen. In fact, many great spiritual leaders throughout history have experienced periods of doubt. Doubt can actually be a healthy part of the process. It shows that you're thinking critically and not just accepting things blindly. One common doubt is feeling unworthy. You might look at your past mistakes or current struggles and think, there's no way God would choose someone like me. But here's the thing. Being chosen isn't about being perfect. Throughout history and across different spiritual traditions, we see stories of flawed, ordinary people being called to do extraordinary things. Your imperfections don't disqualify you. They might actually be an essential part of your journey and purpose. Another common doubt is feeling overwhelmed by the idea of being chosen. You might think, I'm not strong enough, or I'm not ready for this responsibility. Remember, being chosen doesn't mean you have to do everything alone or all at once. Often, the strength and resources you need come as you take steps forward on your path. Some of you might be worried that you're just seeing what you want to see. Maybe you're concerned that you're interpreting normal life events as signs because you want to feel special. This is a valid concern, and it's good to approach this with a balance of openness and healthy skepticism. Pay attention to patterns over time, not just isolated incidents. And remember, true signs often come with a sense of peace and rightness, even if they're challenging. It's also common to doubt because the signs you're experiencing don't match what you expected. Maybe you thought being chosen would feel more dramatic or come with a clear, booming voice from the sky telling you what to do. In reality, divine guidance is often much more subtle. It's more about a persistent nudge than a dramatic revelation. If you're experiencing doubts, try this. Instead of pushing them away, engage with them. Ask yourself, what's at the root of this doubt? Often, our doubts can reveal important questions or areas where we need growth or clarity. Use your doubts as a tool for deeper reflection and understanding. Remember, it's okay to take your time in this process. You don't have to have unwavering faith or certainty all the time. The journey of being chosen often involves growing into your role over time, learning to trust your inner guidance, and gradually gaining confidence in your path. As we near the end of our journey today, let's take a moment to recap what we've explored and find some inspiration for the path ahead. We've talked about 3 key signs that might indicate you're chosen by God: an unmistakable sense of purpose, unexpected doors opening in your life, and an increased capacity for empathy and compassion. These signs aren't about making you feel superior to others, but about recognizing a unique calling or role you might be meant to play in the world. Remember, being chosen isn't about achieving fame or success as the world defines it. It's about fulfilling your unique purpose, whatever that may be. For some, it might mean leading a movement or creating significant change on a global scale. For others, it might mean being an exceptional parent, a supportive friend, or a force for kindness in your local community. No calling is too small if it's what you're truly meant to do. As you move forward from here, I want to encourage you to stay open and attentive. Pay attention to the subtle ways the universe might be guiding you. Listen to that quiet voice inside that nudges you towards certain paths or actions. Trust that even if you can't see the whole picture yet, each step you take in faith is leading you where you need to go. Don't be afraid to embrace your unique gifts and perspectives. The very things that make you different, even the parts of yourself you might have tried to hide or change, could be the key to fulfilling your purpose. Your struggles, your quirks, your unique combination of experiences and talents, all of these are part of what makes you perfectly suited for your calling. Remember that being chosen isn't just about you. It's about how you can serve others and make a positive impact in the world. Let your growing sense of purpose and deepening empathy guide you towards ways you can contribute, no matter how small they might seem. Stay curious and keep learning. Your journey of being chosen is also a journey of growth and self-discovery. Be open to new ideas, new experiences, and new understandings of yourself and the world around you. And perhaps most importantly, be patient and kind with yourself. The path of being chosen isn't always easy or clear. There will be challenges, setbacks, and times of doubt. But there will also be moments of incredible joy, deep fulfillment, and awe-inspiring synchronicity. Embrace all of it as part of your unique journey. As we come to the close of our exploration of the signs that you might be chosen by God, I want to leave you with a few final thoughts. Being chosen, at its core, is about recognizing and embracing your unique role in the tapestry of life. It's about understanding that you have gifts, experiences, and perspectives that are uniquely yours, and that these can be used to make a positive difference in the world. Whether you've recognized all three signs we discussed today, just one, or even if you're still unsure, know that this conversation is just the beginning. The journey of understanding your purpose and living into your calling is ongoing. It's a lifelong process of growth, learning, and service. Remember, being chosen doesn't mean your life will be perfect or free from challenges. In fact, you might face even greater challenges as you step into your purpose. But you'll also likely find a deeper sense of meaning, fulfillment, and connection to something greater than yourself. As you move forward from here, I encourage you to stay open, stay curious, and stay true to yourself. Trust the journey, even when the path isn't clear. Have faith that as you take steps towards fulfilling your purpose, the way forward will reveal itself. And remember, you're not alone on this journey. Whether it's through a spiritual community, trusted friends and mentors, or even platforms like this where we can share and learn from each other's experiences, there are always sources of support and guidance available to you. Thank you for joining me on this exploration of what it means to be chosen. I hope this video has provided you with insights, encouragement, and maybe even a sense of recognition or confirmation of what you've been feeling in your own life. As you go about your day, week, and life from here, stay attuned to the signs around you. Listen to that inner voice, pay attention to the doors that open, and let your growing empathy guide your actions. You never know. The next chapter of your journey as a chosen individual might be just around the corner. Remember, being chosen isn't about being perfect or having all the answers. It's about being willing to listen, to grow, and to step into the unique role that only you can fill. Trust in your journey, embrace your purpose, and know that you have something truly special to offer the world.